Hello all, welcome to Sakti's AI Junction. In this video, we'll look into the continuity of data ingestion using Llama index. In our last video, we have seen how to ingest data and create an index on top of it. This video, again, we will emphasize on the same thing, just to make sure we have a solid understanding of data ingestion, because in any other rack, data ingestion is a primary the most important phase. So we will re-emphasize again in this video. Let's get started. Okay. So I want to reiterate on the three elements again: document, node, and index. Document is nothing but the contents extracted from the source information. Like the source could be like some PDF, docx, or PPT. So how are we doing that? By using that simple directory reader. Okay. And the next one is a node. The extracted contents will be transformed into a pieces of chunk, and that chunk will be stored in the form of a list of JSON. The chunk along with the metadata and the relationship will be stored as a node. Okay, and index is something which contains references to all the nodes and provides mechanism to quickly find nodes that match certain criteria such as keyword, semantic similarity, or queries. Meaning the node will be transformed or stored in a such a way. The index will be stored in that node in such a way that would be, if whenever you ask a query, it will go to that nodes and see the references and fetch that relevant content for the quick retrieval. You can imagine like node is something, a paragraph in a book. Okay, whereas index is something, a reference to that paragraph. When you in the first two pages you have that indexes, right? That is an index that gives a references or hint to the actual or pages or content in the book. So that is what a node and index is all about. Okay. Also, we have seen some of the queries how to look for that index embeddings, documents, and nodes. We will see it one more time. Okay. So this is the data ingestion code. Okay, I'm executing it again. So what are we doing is like from the llama index.code, we are importing that simple directory reader and vector store index. Also that sentence splitter, OpenAI embedding. In the last video, I didn't show how do we pass it embedding. Here I have included that statement as well. So from the documents, we we use a simple directory reader to fetch the documents from the data folder. Okay, that is the first step. And second step is that transformation of your document. Like how do you want to transform the document by applying some chunkings and stuff. So here I have given the chunk size as 500, and I'm creating an index on top of the documents. So to create an index, I have to pass documents and the transformation. Here the transformation I'm giving as a sentence splitter with a chunk size of 500. Okay, and this is excluded embedded meta keys. This is just I was just trying it because see I mean you can have a lot of what is that embedding metadata keys option. Like by default it will have some keys in the documents like file name, file type, file size, and date published. There are some around some 7 to 8 metadata that will be coming as part of a document. If you want to include or if you want to exclude some of the metadata keys for embedding, and you can use this option. Meaning, if you give this file size as an excluded metadata, this file size will not go into while the creation of an embedding. Okay, so how the embeddings will be created? So you have a text along with the metadata. Metadata is like a file type, file name, file size, and file format, and date created, last modified, so and so. Okay. If you feel that file size is not relevant to you, and if you want to exclude that from being embedded, then you can use this option, exclude embedded metadata keys. And if you give this, then file size will not be embedded. Okay. And the next one is that embed model equal to OpenAI embedding. And even if you don't give this, actually by default, it will take OpenAI embeddings because actually we have set our keys at upfront. If you remember, like I have set my key OpenAI keys right using that load underscore dot env of an Python dot env file. So I have configured my OpenAI key in this .env file in under that config folder. So that will be taken. By default, it will assign an OpenAI embedding model. So just to show you like how it is being done in the background, or if you want to go for some other embedding model, we can use this option. Like this is how we have to pass a embedding model. Okay. And once the same, so now from the documents, we have created an index. So if you need to visualize it, how it has been created, I have given some of that code commands. Like let me copy it. Copy. Yes. So these are all the codes. How do you want to visualize the what's happening behind under the hood? And when I say document has been, the PDF has been converted into document, and document has been converted into node, and the node has been converted into index. I mean, index is storing those nodes. So when I say these things, how do we visualize it? So for to visualization, I have collected that commands which you can execute. For example, let's say if you need to see the documents, you can just type what is the documents. So it is smaller. Okay, so this is the document, and I have collected one sample, the first element of the document in a JSON file. So this is how it will look like. It will have an ID. Here, embedding will not be there in a document because that is the first stage where we are extracting directly from the source information, right? So it will not have an embedding, and it will have some metadata: page label, file name, file path, file type, file size, creation date, modified date, etc. So remember, during the embedding process, all this metadata will go, for embedding creation as well. That's the reason I have given this exclude embed metadata keys as file size, which means during the embedding creation, this file, size will not be going for, embedding creation. Similarly, there are other options like you can exclude uh, what is that uh, during that LLM metadata keys, meaning when you are sending that completions request to your LLM model, and if you want to exclude some of the keys, and you can configure here. Right now the relationship is 0, which means null. Embedding a relationship will be null for the document object because that will be created once the nodes are created. And this is a text which we have extracted from the document. I have used a World War II document, and this is how a document structure will look like. Next one is, what is that? If you need to see, so once you apply this index, right? How if you need to see how the documents has been transferred. So for this, you can use this documents index.docstore.docs. You see that I have collected. Okay, this is how you can see the transformed text. It will be here. Okay, see, this is after applying our chunking. So in the document, the chunking was not done, but in after that index, right? This has a transformed data, meaning you have applied a chunking size of some 500, right? So from the original text, we have applied a chunking, and we have arrived at the transformed what is that data? So transformed text, that is what we call it as. And the next one is storage. If you need to see the embeddings, right, you can use this one. Okay. And if you see that for each and every, we have created a, I mean, it has created a embedding dictionary with list of embeddings. So I have copy pasted that in one of that node embed JSON. See. Okay. So ID, unique identifier. and embedding for it. Okay, similarly, you will have embedding for all that 7 pieces of chunks and the metadata of it. Okay, and the what is the metadata and excluded metadata keys and the relationships. So if you remember, like I have told, the node will have a relationship. Relationship means like whether that how that nodes or pieces of chunks are in a relationship to other nodes. So this will be very helpful during the retrieval process. Okay, so we are telling our system, okay, hey, this piece of chunk has been in relationship or is been interrelated with the other chunk. So with this relationship, our retrieval would be much more meaningful, and we will be able to retrieve the some precise context. Okay, and see, you can see the relationships, the context. I mean the text, the transformed text, each and everything. Now I have two more commands. Like if you need to speak specifically only the relationships, and you can use this one. Load embedding. See. It is the same, like almost all of my commands, whatever I have given, like you would be able to see, understand what is happening under the process, like how the documents, nodes are structured, how index is structured, so and so. So these commands would be helpful if you need to visualize it. And one more thing, what I wanted to say, if you don't have, I mean, if you wanted to try out some other Hugging Face embeddings, right? It is an open source embedding which you want to try. Instead of this OpenAI embedding, you can replace it with Hugging Face embedding. For example, like this is the command for that. I'll just copy. Instead of Hugging Face embeddings, instead of OpenAI embedding, I'll replace it with Hugging Face embeddings. Okay. And if I run it, okay, now the embeddings and index has been created with Hugging Face embedding, which is like a BG embedding. This is an open source embedding in which we can use it for free. Unlike OpenAI, if you use it, will be charged against your API key. But Hugging Face embedding doesn't need any API key. It can be directly run on your local. So this would be useful. I mean, if you need to try, different varieties of embeddings, like you have OpenAI embeddings, Cohere embeddings, and Working Face embedding, BG embedding. So BG is open source, which you can try it. And if you need to have this BGE, you have to install LangChain underscore community as well as a sentence transformer. Since this is running in your machine, you have to install sentence transformers. What I'm saying is this one. Like you have to install these two packages to get it running. Okay. So this is a quick recap of so far the data ingestion. And in the next videos, like we will see like how to store this into a disk or to some other vector DB, and how we can use it for the retrieval. Like meaning we will store this index into your local disk, into your machine, as well as open source some vector DBs, and we will pass a query, and that query will be compared. It will do that retrieval, and you will be able to see what is the response out of it. So we will be seeing this in upcoming videos, and I will be uploading it in in a couple of days. Yeah, thank you all, and see you.